Step into the grand arena where legends come to fight. Bodies clash and dreams ignite under the neon lights. Oh yeah, Pondwater Dave, he's the voice, calling every move. Amy and Justin Davis, getting you in the groove. Oh yeah. Feel the energy, the thunder, as the crowd begins to roar. High-flying daredevils in a battle like never before. Oh yeah. From the turnbuckle to the mat, the action never stops. Talking wrestling takes you to the top. Oh yeah. Talking wrestling, it's a wild ride. From suplexes to body slams, we got it all inside. Get ready for the excitement, the drama, the show. Talking wrestling, is ready to throw down. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave, and we are so excited to be with you here on this very hot late August Tuesday night. My name is Justin Davis, and as always, I'm joined by the first lady of the Arn Anderson fan club, Miss Amy Vaughn herself, and we have Mr. Pondwater Dave himself.
Hey-o!
So the gang is all here.
Yay!
How in the hell is everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Thank you
see
all
Ben.
joining us in the chat.
Yeah.
Ben Jones is here from Australia, and we're doing
Yeah.
it live, pal.
Yeah,
That's
he's
right.
working from home, so he's hanging out with us.
Awesome.
The dogs are excited.
It's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
I'm
is
wore
right.
out.
We got-
Justin, are you wore out?
I am.
School back in session, and it's like
School's
ooh,
back in session, and it's been a wild few weeks for me, but it's been fun, and yeah, glad to be back. Having something to do every day again.
definitely. What you been doing, Pondwater?
Well, it's been an interesting week. I mean, we had a good weekend. Saturday morning, we went to actually Friday night. Friday night, we went to a football game. My brother-in-law coaches Greenville St. Joe, his son, the quarterback, my nephew, two-time defending state champions.
Awesome.
He was the athlete of the week, voted by the Clarion Ledger newspaper, Victor Baker, and it wasn't even close. He got had a great game the week before, and Friday night after one quarter they were tied 0-0. Well, the whole family showed up to watch the game because it was close to the house. This is they his home games are a long way away. We don't all get to go very often, but they were playing close to the house. We went 0-0 after the first quarter. In the second quarter, the kid goes 8 for 13 for 266 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and then we didn't see him again in the second half.
Oh my
How
god!
about that?
Yeah,
Some signs of Joe
Field
Burrow.
Yeah, we ended up winning 55-0. It was a great game. And it was really cool. We played Clinton Christian in Clinton, Mississippi.
Mhm.
The game ball was delivered by helicopter.
Ooh.
They landed a helicopter and delivered the game ball.
Shades of the Nature Boy.
Hey,
coming in.
I told the kids, Ric Flair used to get, when he did a football stadium, he'd come in on a helicopter.
Well, they should have asked Papaw Dave, and he could have got Ric Flair to deliver the ball.
Yeah. I bet he couldn't have. But so we had a good time with the family on Friday night. Saturday, we go to my granddaughter's softball game, and they were good enough to. It was hot. It was midday, but they skunked them. The 12-run rule was enacted in the third inning, and we got out of there early. And then I made my triumphant return to the wrestling ring for Legacy Championship Wrestling. The knee held up. Didn't have, it was easy to get down, hard to get back up. I'm
Mhm.
still struggling a little bit with it, but I got her done. And it's a great night of wrestling action in Summerall, Mississippi for the Gridiron Club. Had a great crowd turnout. They were into it. It was a unique situation where the faces and the heels were in separate locker rooms.
Oh.
A lot of the matches called in the ring, and I got to work with the grappler. The grappler was managing grappler number 3.
Oh, awesome.
Happy birthday, late belated birthday to the grappler. His birthday was Sunday. Happy birthday to him. And it was just so great to be in the ring with a lot of talent I hadn't had the opportunity to work with before. And the main event, our good friend Gio Savage took on Damian Wayne. It was a barn burner for the number 1 contendership for the legacy title. Winner's going to get a shot at Big Swole Justin Cole. And Gio came up on the short end. Damian Priest finished him off with that elbow drop. And I mean, if you get an opportunity to go see Damian Wayne, he's been around for a while. He was, we had Matt Classic on. Damian Wayne was their world champion for over 600 days.
Yes, I remember that.
And he's been an NWA. I mean, he's Mr. NWA, almost everything that they held, national championships and tag teams, and very talented wrestler. And I mean, I'm standing there with him. I can't poke holes in his stuff. I mean, the guy's really good. Go out of your way to see him if he's in your town. Damian Wayne.
Before we forget, you mentioned. Oh, sorry.
I ripped all the matches.
Oh, you ripped every one of them. Oh,
I did.
okay.
Well, that knee held up big time.
No kidding. Talk about putting some.
He didn't. I don't think he tried to jump over the rope though, so he was safe on that.
No, I gingerly crawled through the ropes.
He rolled in and rolled out.
Stairs. I don't normally use the stairs because I'd hate to fall up the stairs, but
yeah,
I get nervous. But Heather's seen him. He's even wrestled indies in her area years ago.
Yeah.
Where's your area, Heather? Where are you from, Heather?
We mentioned it was the grappler's birthday, and I want to mention this. I would be remiss if I don't, because I know he listens and I love him very much. And my 8-year younger than me brother, Dylan, it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Dylan.
Happy birthday, Dylan.
Awesome. I got my grappler book. I don't have it in here. I have it in the my bedroom, but I got a copy of his book that he was talking about when he was on here with us, and I cannot wait to start it.
Yeah, he thanked you for buying that. Said he had a good time on the show.
Yes, and he even put that in my book.
Yeah,
I love being on your show.
And it was so next up for me will be Bayou Independent Wrestling. It's September 14th in West Monroe, Louisiana. Hell of a card lined up for that. And from what I understand, I'm going to be the only referee that night. We got Caleb Conley coming in against Ray Fury.
Really?
That would be tough. We've got Steve Anthony against the Nightmare Jeremiah. So I'm concerned about Steve Anthony because Vordell Walker set him on fire this past weekend.
Jesus.
Viciously set him on fire.
Gosh.
So Nightmare's going to get him. Going to get a very pissed off Steve Anthony.
But did he get set on fire in a coffin and still live like the Undertaker? I mean, that's a special type.
No, he got set on fire in the middle of the ring. Then we have the Ray Lynn is going to challenge Cassandra Golden. Ray Lynn from Women of Wrestling.
Have they wrestled before, or was this the match Cassandra was talking about? I feel like we've talked about this.
I don't think that.
You think maybe she was talking
I think
about
it was a triple threat.
Match?
I think it was a triple threat match.
Okay.
Then we have Rob Love and Alex Arsenal, Southern Royalty, in tag action against APOC and Rook Tyler.
Ooh.
And then we have for the BIW Heavyweight Southern Championship, Angel Camacho gets his rematch against Bam Bam Malone.
Really?
That'll be good.
It will be.
Yeah, I mean, top to bottom, this card is stacked.
Yeah, I mean
West Monroe, we're coming for you. Like Booker T said, we're coming for you, bitches. I thought I was gonna say it.
I mean, seriously, that is a good. That's a great card for an independent wrestling show in Mississippi or down there, wherever you said you was. So it sounds like a great show to me.
And I feel like I'm forgetting a match. I feel like I'm forgetting a match.
Is Angel going to give you your
mind your business, Amy?
Oh, well, you agreed.
Yeah, pucker up, Amy.
Hell, I can't even remember what I agreed to. It's been so long.
So I think he was just going to beat the crap out of you. You agreed to that. And Justin, remember, he said he'd eat mayonnaise. So
that's right.
Somebody's going to have to go back and find the episode where I said what we were going to do for 500 and 600 followers.
Look at that.
I want to say it's a double chop.
Yeah, I know it's
a double chop.
And Vladimir, he wants to get in on
I just have a question. How big does my spoon have to be? Because technically I can get a spoonful.
Tablespoon. Oh. Tablespoon.
And you can go ahead and
what about, can we do a teaspoon? I mean, that's not much left.
I'm taking chops. If you want sympathy, look at the dictionary. It's tucked somewhere between shit and syphilis. Hey, I got to tell y'all what happened today. Y'all know I've had knee surgery. Mm-hmm. I've had knee surgery, and the insurance company provided me with this device that you put water in, and it cools the water, and it pumps cold water around your knee, and it's compression. It has compression, and it's a neat little chingus, and I like it. And but I've used it as long as they're going to let me use it. And the fellow that brought it to me wanted to schedule to come pick it back up, and I said, all right, we'll schedule it for Monday. And then I called him and said, hey, I forgot to leave it outside for you. Oh, no problem. We'll get it tomorrow. So Tuesday comes. Guess what? I forgot to leave it outside. But I knew I was going to forget. I've seen me do it. So my wife was supposed to leave it outside, but guess what? She forgot to. So this wouldn't normally be a problem because the guy would text me that I'm on my way. Is everything cool? But my new truck has a charging pad in it that's kind of in the console where you'll just kind of set it down. So you'll slide it down in there. I'm bad about leaving my phone in my truck now.
Wait, your truck has a pad. Is it a Chevy?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. They usually need pads to run. Go ahead.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I will not have you besmirch the good name of the ghost.
Yeah.
On this show.
Yeah. Think about your network name. Maybe you should stay in that area of Rams, if you know what I'm saying.
I'd rather walk. I'd rather walk. Anyway,
I used to have a blacked out.
Fancy. I got a bow tie on my truck. Hell, the damn thing's got everything but a Cadillac emblem on it. Anyway, but back to the story. I forgot my phone. It was in the truck. So from my work phone, I text Tep this morning. I said, hey, I left my phone in my truck. If you need me, you'll have to get me on my work phone. And she said, was I supposed to set that machine out? And I'm like, you didn't? And she said, no. So we got my daughter-in-law to stop by to do it because I can't get in touch with the guy. I don't have his number because of my phone's in my truck back at the office. And anyway, she stopped by, but she didn't put the machine out. She just put the box it came in, the bag it came in. So he gets there, and he walks up and he opens it up and he's like, and we got a Ring camera, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And he's cussing. I mean, he's pissed. He's pissed.
I wish he would have pissed Tep. He would have known Teppy forgot. That would have been the best.
No, I mean, but he's pissed and he's cussing, and kept telling me, said, man, he's hot. I'm just, she's rolling watching the video. So I get back to the office and I text him and tell him I apologize, and I tell him what happened. And I said, just give me your address and I'll deliver it to you. And he said, hey, can you meet me in Clinton or Raymond this afternoon? I said, I'll be in Raymond at Performance Therapy at 4 p.m. I had physical therapy today. So he meets me there and I give it to him. And I said, man, I swear we're not idiots. I just apologize. I feel terrible about this. I said, I know you're aggravated. I saw on the video that you were aggravated.
And heard.
And no, this is where it gets good, because I mean, he kind of acted. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. And his last name is Miller. So it's on brand for him to have a little cussing fit. But I told him, he said, man, it's okay. It's a little aggravating, but stuff happens. And I said, well, I knew you was pissed. And I said, I could tell on the video you were pissed. He goes, well, I just hope that microphone didn't have recording. I hope it didn't have a microphone. I said, oh, it did. And man, he looks like he was so embarrassed. And I was such an asshole for doing that man that way. I'm not going to play.
You know what? Not only do they do couples colonoscopies together, but they also forget to set shit out on the porch together. So they do everything together.
I would like to remind everybody that I am an elderly. Yes, I am.
Well,
so that's some of the craziness that's going on.
I bet that guy was like, came up there, the box was empty. I bet he was like,
oh, I bet you that guy was just trying to smile through it and be professional, but we probably wanted to kick my old ass for putting him through so much.
oh.
But I'll tell you, he said it's a first. Nobody's ever put an empty bag on the out for him to pick up.
Why did your daughter-in-law
not without dog poop in it?
Nobody told her. I should have had the whole thing packed up. I just didn't think about it.
She just said, okay, this is what they said to do, so we'll do it.
Don't call me out, man.
He's going to be using that for the next 20 years, Gerard.
The zebras are supposed to stick together. Look at Gerard calling me out. All right, before we get into it, it's been a big wrestling weekend. Before we get into it, I had something came up on my Facebook memories this week. I had told a story. I did it back when in the old days we had Facebook notes, and I told a story. I wrote the story out on a note, and I'm going to share it with you. This happened in 2009. This is a true story. I'm not embellishing it, not even a little bit. That's what makes this such a great story. You don't have
to embellish. Your stories are pretty jaw-dropping.
Our dog had chewed up the remote control. We had cable, and I needed to take the remote control to the cable company to get it replaced.
Didn't you hate back in the day driving to the cable company, getting the box, and the remote, and dropping it back off when you canceled and all that crap?
I'm going to preface this story. There's a comedian named Jim Gaffigan. He's an incredibly talented comedian, and he used to do a bit about if you're hungry.
Oh, yes.
If you're hungry, watching the Food Net channel is like watching porn. I tell you that to tell you this.
That's true.
When I arrive at the cable company, I'm in line waiting my turn. There's a line. You know, they have where you walk through, and I'm behind this lady, and on the wall on their big screen TV, they have the Food Network on, and somebody is doing desserts, and there's a cake.
Sexy.
There's a cake. There's a cake that they're doing, and it looks very succulent. But there's a woman standing in front of me, and she's a larger lady. I mean, large.
It looks more succulent to her than you.
I mean, when I say she's large, I mean, I'm not disparaging her because she's large, but the bitch was fat. Okay.
Okay.
And we're watching
a whole lot of Rosie.
We're watching the cake. We're watching the cake on the wall, and I'm standing behind her, and I hear, oh, and I'm like, what? Did I just hear? And we're standing there, and then I hear her go, And then this joke that Jim Gaffigan tells about the Food Network being like watching porn if you're hungry. And she done moaned twice. And I'm starting to laugh a little bit, you know. And and then about a minute later, they do something else with the cake, and she goes, oh. Like, and now I'm like that scene in Porky's when ball breaker's talking to the principal and the coaches are trying to not bust out. And I'm back here. And I'm biting my lip. And and at this point, tears are welling up in my eyes. And I'm just trying not to lose it. And then she goes, oh. And I just started busting out.
What'd they do? Just put the whipped cream on top?
No, I'm like, I freaking lost it. And everybody turns and looks at me. And without missing a beat, I looked up and I go, I'm so sorry, everybody. My daddy just died. And he loves the Food Network so much. They let me skip the line, swapped out this chewed up remote control for me. No questions asked. Got me out there. This, I should go to hell for this. But the tears, I pulled it off. I sold it like $1 million because I didn't want this big bitch to whoop my ass for laughing at her, getting her nut over a chocolate cake.
And your poor dad died years before that. And here you are saying that he just
Dad died in 94. But my dad would have appreciated that so much. And I saw that, and it's just the fact that I did not embellish that, not one iota, is what makes.
Well, I just want to say, as someone that watches a lot of Food Network, that ain't no lie. I mean, I can tell you. I mean, I cost myself a lot of money because of Food Network, because I watch Food Network and then I think, what restaurant can I go to where I can get something like that? And then I go spend $50 on a meal that was not near as good as what I just watched on Food Network.
Yeah, it's something.
You like to cook though, don't you, Justin?
I do, yeah.
I would say I feel like you always got something on the grill, or you're.
I am no what's her name, Julia Child. I'm not French classic trained by no means, but I can do a little bit with some logs and fire and some pork belly or something like that.
Sounds good. Yeah. Do you ever get any inspiration from the Food Network?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's some shows on there I watch all the time. Actually, as a teacher, I got a inspiration. There's a new show. I'm not sure the channel it's on, but I'm watching it through HBO Max. And it's called Barbecue High, and it's about these teachers in Texas, Dave, where they have teachers that sponsor these barbecue groups for the high school, and they get up on Saturday mornings at 3 a.m. and they practice, and they do go to competitions and stuff. So it's actually pretty cool. I would love to do that with my school, to have a barbecue club to kind of do that with the kids and stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I didn't know that was an option until I watched that and realized they do it in Texas as a school club. Yeah,
that'd be nice. Barbecue High has a completely different meaning here in Mississippi.
Well, yeah, I figured that's what you thought I was going to say when I said that. But
Terry Weaver says, I ate at a diner that was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives last week with my son on his trip. What was the name of it?
Yeah, tell us, because I always love going to those things. Every time
if I travel somewhere, I'll check and see.
I'd be like, where did Guy go? And then like my dad and brother, how we go to a different place to watch the Reds every year. I was looking up like places in St. Petersburg that was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Yeah.
Was there any place that did you get to go?
Well, there was, but we didn't go out to it. It's Ted's Smokehouse. The fish, like he smokes fish. It's this place that I would like because it's kind of rustic, old school place, been there forever. We didn't get to go because it was kind of out of town and we didn't really have the time. But yeah, I do go to a lot of them though, Dave, like you do. I plan anytime I'm traveling, I plan where I'm going to eat around that.
Charlie Parker's Diner. That's cool, Andrew.
I've heard of that, Terry.
Terry. There's the next episode on the Ram Network of Put It in Your Mouth. When TV
That's
to
it.
talk about Charlie
There ain't
Parker
too many
Jr.
Triple D episodes I haven't seen, and I do remember Charlie Parker's. Actually, okay,
You'll torture yourself. What's bad is when you don't really have anything in the house to eat, and you start watching it late night. And you live out in a place like I do, where there's no DoorDash.
And then you're trying to become like a chef. You're like, I can take a can of sardines, some mustard, and something else, and make this into a great meal.
That's a Chopped episode. If you have something like that, you could be on that show.
Normally that's when I have to get a wish kebab. just grabbing some ice cream out of the freezer and wishing it was a steak. But
actually,
hey,
you know what I did?
Anybody watching wrestling this weekend?
You two did. I did not.
I did. Yeah, you didn't watch it?
I did not. I have not watched an AEW pay-per-view since I was in Jacksonville, and I watched it live.
Oh well, then we don't need him this week.
Bye, everyone. I was glad I got to be here for the first 30 minutes. I almost texted you guys and said, you might want to have someone else on, not me, because I didn't watch this. But
we're going to talk
I can hear what happened, and I can give my opinion, because I do kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. If I'm not mistaken, 5 championships changed hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first 3 matches, the championship changed hands. That was kind of crazy, I thought.
Yeah. I will say about this about this pay-per-view, the only spoiler I know, because I saw it on X Twitter, is the new world champion. That's the only kind of spoiler that I saw, and I don't even know how it happened. Well,
the new champion's got a belt, but he'd have even a better belt if it would have come from Big Time Belts.
Definitely.
Facebook.com, Big Time Belts, high quality, low prices. The Queen of the Summit champion for SWA, Empower and Conquer. She got her belt at Big Time Belts. Our good friend Tim Robinson, who's in the chat with us tonight.
We got Gerard Millette, Tim Robinson, Terry, Heather, everyone's in there with us tonight. Our buddy Willie Buck.
I'm telling you, Tim's belt dreams are coming true with Big Time Belts. He's got his tag belt. He's got his heavyweight belt. He's got his junior heavyweight belt. And pretty soon he's going to have a women's belt that I cannot wait to see the artwork for it, because I know what the concept is. And Big Time Belts is going to make that dream come true for him. And I'm so happy for him. Can't wait to see it. I mean, look at the craftsmanship on this thing. And you can do this at Big Time Belts. Fantasy football season is here.
Mm-hmm.
How would you?
Yes, it is.
Don't just get a belt. Why would you not want to win a belt for your championship? And then you can strut ass for a year, rubbing your guys, rubbing your boy's face in it.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
But I really like what this belt that Tim got. I wanted to feature it heavily on this. Big Time Belts, Facebook.com. Look them up, join the group. Muhammad Zubair is doing excellent work. He can make your belt dreams come true. If you got an idea, you can tell him. He can come up with the artwork for you to approve. And it's very, very affordable. I mean, quality belt starting at $250.
You don't hear that too often.
I mean, it's kind of, you can, the more you do to them, the stacking the plates and stuff, you can get the cost on them up a little bit, but I mean, but very, very good belts. I mean, TV quality belts for $250. Big Time Belts, Facebook.com. Tell them that we sent you. And we want to thank him for sponsoring our show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Big Time Belts. Go out and get you one. You know, we've got our draft coming up. Maybe we need to go over there and buy us a fantasy football belt.
I'm working on it. Oh, we're going to have a belt. We're going to have a belt for our fantasy league over on the Ram Network.
Awesome. I'm excited. Now I've got to really pay attention to my draft. I've never had a belt in here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cheer y'all on because I don't know anything about it. So
you would probably win then.
Probably.
Very serious. Well, maybe, but like.
Would you say that Dave and the HSV knows something about football?
Yes.
Well,
I don't,
He went to Ireland and watched his team lose.
I was going to say, did David and HSB have the worst week of all of us?
Got a text from him right after the game. It was the most expensive football game ever.
yeah, let's not feel
the only
too
thing I
sorry for
said,
him. No,
Oh,
he was
no.
in Spain.
the only thing I
Ireland.
said is, I hope he drank enough Guinness to not care about the end of that football game.
He said that he's a huge fan of Guinness now.
Yeah.
But he had a great trip. Him and his wife had a great trip over there. But to go see your team, go see your ranked team lose to an unranked team.
Yeah.
And there's only one person on ESPN Game Day that called that game correctly, and that was Sheamus.
Yeah.
The guest was Sheamus.
I love it. I think and he got to see Adam O'Neill. Our
Yes.
friend Adam O'Neill across the pond. That would have been so fun.
Yeah, I saw that.
Isn't it
My
neat?
old roommate from Nashville, Adam O'Neill. I love
Isn't
that
it
guy.
neat that pro wrestling has brought friends to us all over the world, or even just locally? I mean, John Hickson was our good friend. John Hickson was traveling through for a business meeting, and we met up with him in Vicksburg for dinner Sunday night. So,
man, and when he took a picture with you, I mean, I knew he was tall, but he looked like Giant Gonzalez next to your ass in that picture.
He did.
That is very true.
Willie Buck's saying something.
What's he saying?
He's saying that his favorite wrestler, Taylor Gainey, won the Women's Pro Wrestling 225 championship belt Saturday night.
Wow.
Congratulations to her. I worked with several guys from Pro Wrestling 225 this weekend, and they run in my favorite town that I've ever refereed in, Houma, Louisiana. As a matter of fact, I believe it was down at 225 is where Steve Anthony got burnt by Vordell.
Oh.
I would really like to get down there and work with those boys because that's one of my favorite. That's my favorite town to ever referee in.
Because they believe, right?
Yes, they do.
That's why.
Yeah, when you're threatening to actually physically kill the referee.
It makes you feel like
I don't think she threatened to kill me. She hoped I died.
And she wasn't the first person that's done that.
But security had to stop her from coming around the rail on me.
She goes, she finds a little pin. She'd be like,
are you sure it wasn't the woman with the tuna can from the grocery store since she finally found you?
Positive. I'm 100% positive.
Get our revenge.
Get her revenge.
If the chick with the tuna can had enough money to buy a ticket to a wrestling match, she'd spend it on crack probably.
Maybe she straightened her life out after she went and saw the police station that day. You never know about her.
Hey, fingers crossed.
I was gonna say,
but I'd seen her lose it again. I'd seen her lose it again after the initial biting me incident. So
I feel like this is a movie. So after the tuna can story, she gets her life all on back together, you know. But yet she still has that little seed of anger at Pondwater Dave, and she finds him finally refereeing a wrestling match, and she's got not a tuna can, but a huge can of baked beans, like one of those big ones, and she just knocked in there.
Tin cans.
I'd like to think my tuna story is responsible for tuna fish coming in pouches now.
Too many.
Yeah, I mean that's a safety hazard.
Did you say she bit you?
Yes, she bit me.
She bit you.
Oh yeah,
Please
she bit.
tell me.
Yeah.
I don't. You did go. I know you didn't. Yeah, did you go get it? You got it cleaned out, checked out.
She got so much when I was trying to get her out of the store, and I was backing up, and I hit the shopping buggies.
Right.
And when I did, she scratched my face. But when she did that, I threw her in a headlock, and I was going to drag her out the front door.
Right.
I locked that headlock in on her. She had her arms around me, and she clamped down.
What else you gonna do?
She bit me through my shirt, and she got so much of my skin in her mouth that she actually popped it open.
Oh God!
Did you get it? Did you get treated? Did you?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, good. Because I was just like,
Did you get a rabies shot?
Oh,
did you get the gonorrhea shot? Okay.
Did you get tested? Yeah, really. You probably got. Did you get tested for? Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Jesus. HIV. That's what you're thinking. That's what I was thinking. I lost my mind when I finally calmed down because I was wearing a white shirt and it was just nothing but red over here.
Oh my God.
I was more concerned about leprosy, but whatever. You can see HIV.
But that's why when she started biting me, the only first thing I could grab was a can of tuna fish, and I started doing like Al Madrill with the madrillization on her head, trying to get her to let go of me. I folded
Yes.
the bottom of that tuna fish can was folded like her head.
Could you imagine being a shopper in the store and just like trying to
Yeah,
get
the
your milk?
next day you go pick up
Y'all don't
that tuna
understand.
can to buy it.
Whatever she was on turned her into the Incredible Hulk. It took 4 grown men to get her off of me.
Oh, and six packs of tuna cans.
No kidding. You had to get that big Abacore tuna can.
Oh, that story never gets old. I love that story. I could hear that story every day and laugh. Every day I hear it.
And how I forgot you got big.
And there's always another nugget that comes out when he tells it.
Yeah, I know her name. I hope she's doing well. I hope she got her life together. But
yeah,
I mean, I'd seen her that way again.
Oh my God! If she got her life together and like had her grandkids and was like a sweet old grandma now, and we had her on the show and got to interview her about it, that would be the greatest thing of all.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I understand. I didn't at the time. I understood that I was getting bit, but I mean, drugs are a disease. I mean, when people get on that stuff, they're not who they were. I mean,
no.
Yeah, Huntington's actually, and you wouldn't think it, but Huntington, West Virginia, which is not a very big city, but we are dealing with a pretty bad kind of stretch of homelessness and drugs in Huntington right now. Yeah,
but she was not as tall as me, and she hulked up. I mean, she was on some stuff now, and
she hulked up. She tuned it up on you is what she did.
That's right. She tuned up the band. But Joe says she tuned.
Well, let's talk about some fake fighting.
I will say.
I don't know. That real fighting might have been more entertaining than the fake fight.
No kidding. I will say this. If All In, if that is kind of like their WrestleMania, whatever their big event, I thought it was very good. I really did enjoy everything.
That was my question to you guys, because this is supposed to be their WrestleMania, as you said, Amy, and it is, of course, in huge Wembley Stadium. And I did see that they did not sell it out. It did not look like it was full to me, but I mean, you felt like they pulled off the feel of it being their biggest pay-per-view.
Yeah, 50,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, just the production and everything felt.
I mean,
like
even
a
WWE doesn't draw.
Well, I know, but their WrestleMania show just looks and feels different than their other shows.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is, did they pull that off?
100%.
Yeah.
The formatting of the show. I mean, they had 0 hour, which was 2 hours. And then they had a 4 hour. They had a 4 hour pay-per-view. It was very, very well paced. There was a few matches on this show that I cared absolutely nothing about seeing, but enjoyed the matches nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, one of my favorite parts was the entrances for everybody. Like they were productions. People were wearing different outfits. Like you said, like this, everybody made it feel like this was the big show, and that they all had different outfits, or they had different pyro, or they had some something. Like I said, I like that. I like seeing everybody really putting 100% into it, in a sense. And I did, like I said, so I did enjoy it.
Well,
for the most part. There's some matches didn't care for, but
now I didn't watch all of 0 hour. But we'll tell you what happened. We had a 16-man tag, which I don't know why you wouldn't call it 8-man tag.
That's these people in this picture here.
Yeah, I mean there was 16 of them.
And I'm trying to figure out how many I know, and just looking at it, I know Jay Lethal, right?
Well, let's
Yeah,
start on the right
they
side of
live
the
I mean,
well.
there's
screen.
not too many people I know in this picture.
Well, on the right side of the screen, we got Tommy Billington, which is the Dynamite Kid's son.
Yeah,
His nephew.
I
his
heard about
nephew.
him.
Nephew. And then we got
He
Yeah,
looks
Kip.
a lot like him.
There's Kip
Yeah.
Sabian, Rocky
Mhm.
Romero,
Yep.
Kyle Fletcher,
Yep.
Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight Dante Martin,
Mhm.
Darius Martin, and Dante Martin with Don Callis. Don Callis is out there for this.
Okay.
And
Before
they
we
took
go,
on.
Dave, are these guys? I mean, because I haven't watched a lot, but like these guys that you just said, like Leo Rush and those guys, are they kind of like the cruiserweight division in a way?
Well, Leo Rush is on a Japanese. I mean, I don't know.
I know they don't
Leo
have a
Rush is back.
cruiserweight division, but it seems like they have all these guys that kind of fit the role.
Yeah, but I don't think some of these guys aren't really true cruiserweights, but they all wrestle a high flying style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they took on Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Agogo, Ariva Davari,
Yeah.
Private Party was there. The Dark Orders, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, Evil Uno and Sanjay Dutt were outside, and Tommy Billington and Kip Sabian, their team actually won the match.
So are they pushing Billington a little bit, putting him with Sabian in that, you think?
I think
Amy,
they
go
are,
ahead.
and they featured him on their podcast. They're getting him out there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
he
I've
had a
noticed
match
because
against Chris Jericho, didn't he? Didn't he have? I think on the go home show for AEW.
It's possible.
I want to say he had a match with Chris Jericho. Could be wrong about that. I think again, it's kind of like we said about with the WrestleMania feel of it, trying to get everybody on the card in a
Yeah.
sense, like you said.
Yeah.
Like I don't really none of the. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're heels and faces kind of thing, but there weren't really people that were like fighting each other, and they had to be in a 16-man tag. It was just, a way to show off, show off their skills, people who might be watching it, because it was the free part of the pay.
Yeah, I mean, they got some people. They got everybody. They got a lot of people on the show.
Yeah,
I mean, we're two matches into the 0 hour, and we've had this. This is 20 people involved, not counting the outside. So you actually had 23 on the outside with the outside people. We had Willow Nightingale versus Ishii. I mean, Willow Nightingale and Ishii defeating Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. But in doing so, there was a stipulation on this match, and now Nightingale can pick the stipulations for her CMLL Women's World Championship match against Statlander at All Out. So we know we're going to get Willow. We're going to get Willow and Statlander for that CMLL, the CMLL title.
Okay, is Ishii the one that Cornette's been complaining about a lot?
I haven't been listening to Cornette. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, he just keeps talking about this older guy from Japan that doesn't wrestle.
No,
very well.
I think it's that.
Is it Minoru?
Yes,
probably Minoru Suzuki.
Okay,
yes,
that's who I thought he was talking about, but I didn't know if it was this guy or not. Okay.
Well, and I don't listen to him very much recently, so he could be talking about that one too.
Yeah, I think it was Suzuki, which is who I thought it was. I kind of got in late on the conversation. All right.
Got the I came in at the end of this match. We had the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross, teaming with Sammy Guevara, Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes. Now, the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes are the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions.
Right.
Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara are the Ring of Honor tag team champions.
Right.
Yeah, and didn't Dustin get a third belt here or something?
No,
no, just he has the 2. Okay.
Yeah. And they
I thought I saw he had 3.
They took on the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and the Cage of Agony, Bishop Khan, Brian Cage, and Toa Leona. Beat them by pinfall. When the match was over, they all jumped in and attacked. They attacked them after the match. Kevin Von Erich jumped up on the ring apron, got in the ring, and Matt Taven got in his face and was met with the Iron Claw.
Did he have shoes on?
No.
Yes.
No, he was barefooted. And he put the claw on Matt Taven. The rest of the team jumped up. Everybody grabbed a claw hold on everybody. And
Yeah.
at one point, Ross and Marshall, one of them had the claw on it, the head claw and the stomach claw on one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been Leona. But it was a fun minute. It was a fun moment. The crowd popped for the Iron Claw.
Mm-hmm.
After that match,
I did see that Sammy Guevara is trying to copy Timmy C and pulling out the little pop top.
When the match was over, Saraya came to the ring and brought her family. She came down there and she was in the ring talking. I mean, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to her because I was afraid that she was going to do something as entertaining as her match against Toni Storm on Dynamite last week. Yeah. For all the good that they do, they'll do something that bad and you can't figure out why. Saraya was talking her trash and Jamie Hayter made her return and came to the ring and they had a little physicality. Jamie Hayter looked good too.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of looking good, the more I look at this picture, Sammy Guevara, you looking good, brother.
Jamie Hayter looks completely different. Like I love her outfit was like super colorful. Her hair was different color. Like it's
red hair.
I didn't know who it
looked like a redhead to me.
Yeah, kind of like an orangey. Like I said though, I mean she came out. She really excited to see her back. And when I didn't see that, I can't remember. Was Sammy and Dustin Reynolds were they wearing Wolverine and Deadpool outfits?
I didn't see because I caught the end of the match.
Okay, I couldn't. I feel like either JD Hoop posted that or anyway, they have. He's a Sammy is Wolverine, and then I think Dustin had a Deadpool, kind of cosplay looking outfit.
Now I gotta go back and watch the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Sammy is Wolverine.
Watch 0 Hour on YouTube. It's on 0 Hour on YouTube.
That's right. Okay.
But we're gonna kick off. We're gonna kick off the show. They're gonna start it off with the London ladder match for the AEW World 6-Man Championship. I'm not gonna call it that other name. I don't like that.
Are there any special rules to this ladder match that is unique to them and not WWE?
No, it's climb up there and grab.
Okay.
I think that they should have had it where one person can go up and get the belt, but the winners are not determined until all the belts have been fetched. And then you could have had a situation where you had a makeshift 6-man team having to work together. You could have had maybe one of the House of Black and one of, like, say, Claudio and Malachi and Nick Wayne could have been champions together, and that would have made for some interesting storytelling. A lot of people don't like the 6-man belts. I think AEW, honestly, with all their factions, I mean, look at there's a lot of people in this match, but they're factions.
Yeah,
they are legitimate 6-man tag teams. They have enough. They've done that. Now, Andrew Hermes will tell you that they could also break them up and have even a better tag team division. But I
get it, but
6-man belts have always been a joke.
Factions here.
6-man belts have always been a joke. The only time I ever believed in history that the 6-man tag team championships worked was for the Von Erich Freebird feud, because that was custom made for 3 brothers and 3 Freebirds. And it was a money-making feud. It was what they fought over. Right. So it made sense to have them. The NWA 6-man tag team belts very seldom ever got defended. The WCW version very seldom ever got defended. So I do believe that AEW has made them a focal point of their programming. Yeah. I mean, to the point when they got when the Bang Bang Scissor Gang got the belts they had both the Acclaim's custom belts. I mean, they were putting all these belts in a wheelbarrow or a wagon and bring them to the ring. So they've been a great storytelling vehicle. It's really a positive thing that AEW has done with their 6-man, other than they named them trios. I mean, they might as well put a pair of white sunglasses on them because that's about as douchebag as you can get.
I just want to say one thing. I do like what they're doing with Nick Wayne, with putting him with Christian.
Yeah.
And making him a heel and all that. I think that's a great way because they learned the lesson from Rocky Maivia, right? You don't bring in that little white baby face to come in here and try to kiss ass and everyone's going to boo him. And they're like, let's bring him in that way, kind of, and then immediately turn him and just build heat. And I kind of like that.
So let me preface it that I told y'all before we got started that there was probably about 3 matches on this card that I absolutely had no interest in. And this is one of them because I don't like ladder matches. I don't like seeing wrestlers get hurt for real. I still remember when Joey Mercury got his face peeled. Watching these men fall off these ladders. I mean, if you've ever climbed a ladder and you slipped and it ate your shin up, ladders hurt. There's pinch points in ladders. I don't want to see. It stresses me to these types of matches because I don't want to see these men get hurt.
Yes, I agree.
But that being said, I love this match. I really like the match. I like it. I liked it. I kind of thought it was strange that you put Pac with the Blackpool Combat Club instead of just letting Pac's team in there. And what do they call them? Death Triangle.
Death Triangle.
But when we get to the end of the pay-per-view, what they've done is makes it Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club win the 6-man championships, and Pac gets his moment on top of the ladder at Wembley, and I thought it was a very good match. We had a little controversy with Killswitch getting mad and leaving. So he made that break from Christian. But Christian and Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne all regrouped and left together. And it was, I
just think that's,
am I the only one that thinks Mama Wayne does Mama Wayne remind anybody else of Baby Doll?
No.
Maybe a prettier version. I don't know. I just,
she's she's big and imposing. And when I say she's big, I don't mean
right.
I don't mean she's a tall woman. And she's physically imposing at ringside. And I think I loved it. I loved that Christian wouldn't let Killswitch carry a belt and let Mama Wayne do it.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that whole angle. I don't agree with Tony Khan's booking very often, but as I said, I like putting Nick Wayne with Christian to kind of learn and kind of have a person in there with him to kind of be there for him and teach him the ropes of everything. Also teach him how to be a heel. And I love what they're doing in that.
Yeah, definitely. And this was, like I said, I didn't want this. Heather said it needed to be longer than 5 minutes, but the time I got was 1850. But it didn't feel like it drug out. I liked it, and we're going to go, and since I do jar ratings, it's a good three jars in a mouthful for me.
Throw those 3 jars up.
And I always like seeing House of Black. I like their entrance that came out. They're all very talented wrestlers, and I think that they were a huge reason why you probably liked it, because, like I said, it was a very good match.
It's crazy how much that one gun kid looks just like Billy.
Yeah,
I mean, exactly.
And they were very good too. Was it Bang Bang Gang? I mean, yeah, everyone had their role, and I mean, it was very good.
Here's my girl, Tony Storm. I love it.
This was the match that I predicted was going to steal the show. This was the match I was most looking forward to after I realized that they didn't book Hangman and Jeff Jarrett in a singles match.
So
because I just assumed that was going to happen, and when it didn't, I was like 3/4 hot going into this thing. But this match I thought was going to steal the show. This was going to be and this is my favorite match of the night. The Glamour Mariah May, my God, she's so vicious.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you meant luscious.
That too.
Oh.
That too. I mean, I kind of look at her and I'm like, I don't know if I love her, but she looks like somebody I could love. And then she gets out of the ring and she goes over and she slaps the shit out of Tony Storm's mom. And I was like, yeah,
no,
I love her.
She slapped her own mother. That was her mom.
Oh, that was her mother?
That was her mom.
With a tuna can.
Yes. Yes.
Are you sure? Because Tony Storm went ballistic after that.
Exactly. No, that was her mother.
Oh,
that
well,
was Mariah May's mother.
Still.
No. Pondwater was too busy doing a live watching along with some slap dicks, so he was trying to keep them in line.
No, I mean, I love everything about Tony Storm's presentation.
Did you
Mariah May got busted open with the pile driver on the stairs, and it wasn't like a stand up big pile driver. It was kind of like almost like fast like a DDT, almost like
just kind of. As soon as she got her up, she dropped her so she didn't get her up too high.
It wasn't a pile driver that you would say, well, that should have been over.
Right.
I mean, it was a move on the stairs that busted her open.
She went to her ass, right? Not to her knees, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like how Tony Storm kind of ran down the aisle, the way she was running down, and like when she was coming out, her entrance?
Yeah.
Did you like her entrance? I thought it was funny. Just that you're bad.
No, her. That's why I love her gimmick so much. Her entrances, and anytime she speaks on the microphone, it's hilarious. Just the way she talks cracks me up. I love the whole gimmick, and I wish they'd be more true to it a little bit. I feel like they waver around with the gimmick a little bit. Is she a heel? Is she a face? Are we supposed to like her?
A face now.
She is now,
and I like that Mariah May's the new champion.
Yeah.
She called her a washed up twat.
Oh no, she did not.
Yeah, called her a washed up twat in the post show.
Wow.
And I popped for that so hard.
I don't know what's more wild, that or a CM Punk interview after one of these things.
Nobody calls him a twat anymore. So
no, I don't remember anyone ever calling anyone that. I remember the time old Moolah called what's her name, Alondra Blaze a T word. Yeah.
So we've got Tony Storm's true baby face now, and now it's going to be her road back. It's now she's in for the chase, because I mean this is one of those gimmicks that you weren't supposed to like her, but you couldn't help but like her. The gimmick was so good that you couldn't help but like her.
And now you're in for the chase, right?
And Mariah May, they never let on how good she was. She came from Shimmer. I mean, Stardom. She came from Stardom. They just never let on how good wrestler she actually is, and she's tremendous. She's tremendous.
What, though? She has not been wrestling that long. I mean, she really is good, like you said. And that's what like you said, this is what was so good about this, is that these ladies can wrestle. So they can put, they're not out there just,
And I want to make a point too, because I get tired of hearing it. WWE just didn't know what to do with Tony Storm. Tell your story walking. She beat Charlotte Flair clean on television right before she asked for her release. So you don't let them nobody beats Charlotte Flair clean on television if they don't have plans for her.
I think if she
don't say they didn't know what to do with her. She let and it worked out for her, because you wouldn't have ever seen this character in WWE.
That's what I was going to say. If she could have done this character in WWE, she'd be one of the biggest wrestling female stars in the world.
But don't
say
I really didn't know what to do with her, because if you're beating Charlotte Flair on television, they're strapping a rocket to you.
No, but what I do like about her gimmick is that it doesn't have a timeline. It doesn't run out of funny things to say. You can always kind of do different things with it, with whoever your angle's against, and it works as a baby face or a heel. You know,
And
it's
based, and it's the Carol Burnett show.
yeah.
It's the Carol Burnett show. I mean, she went back and she's doing Madam and Max from Carol Burnett show, and it's so
Mhm.
good.
I just
It's
think
so
it's a
good.
gimmick
It's
that
okay
could
to go
last
back.
a long time.
It's
It could
okay to
last a
go
long.
back 50 years.
Yeah,
It's okay to go back 50 years and bring something back and make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think that's the funny part of it is because no one uses those words anymore, and it's just funny the way she chooses them and puts them in her sentences, and the whole thing just works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another match that I didn't care a whole lot about.
But I did not.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. I was a little concerned that we were not going to see a title change.
Oh, and it's also four jars for Tony Storm and Mariah.
Yeah.
Definitely. What could they have done to got 5 jars?
A claw at the end as a finish.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, that's always going to be the kicker.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I love you, Pondwater shout out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Had a different referee other than Aubrey.
I'll be right back. I got a tinkle, and I don't really care about this match. Hook won, right?
Hey, yo, I called it a piss match. That's what it is.
Well, it is. That's what it is.
Oh, we're having fun tonight.
Definitely.
I didn't hate the match. It gave me what I needed. It put a button on a feud. Hook got the belt, took the learning tree plate off of it, made it back like it was.
Were you worried that the title wouldn't change? Like, what did you think? Did you think Chris Jericho would retain, or did you think Hook would actually?
No, I think this
beat
was
him?
the payoff. I think this was the payoff, and I believe that it was the payoff. And I would have had I would have had a very, very poor opinion of Chris Jericho had he not paid off on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Taz getting involved, putting the Taz mission on Brian Keith. Taz and Hook embracing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't believe they've never done this on TV before. Taz has always stayed back away from him and let him handle his business. And, you know, I think it never made sense. That's your son.
Right.
But he stepped up. He'd had enough and locked that transmission on Brian Keith, and it was a good match. I mean, it was all right. It's 3 jars.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's 3 jars, but I mean, it probably would have gone flat. It would have been maybe just a mouthful for what I anticipate. Because I don't like the learning tree Jericho. I think this is a horrible gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I know that he's going to reinvent himself yet again, and it's going to be okay. I mean, he could be back. He could be back next week as the Painmaker versus the Rainmaker going against Okada. I mean, he's reinvented himself so many times.
Right.
But this learning tree thing is just a miss for me.
If you keep reinventing yourself, at some point, do people not care? I mean, I get it, but at some point, it's like we're kind of done. Like
when he starts having more misses than hits, they won't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I mean, it's not like that he changes because he can, like I said, he'll be back. He can be back as the Painmaker, or he can become back as Coron de you know what I'm talking about from back in the day.
I mean, no idea. No,
you get different incarnations of Jericho. I mean, that's the fun part. That's just another gimmick in itself.
I think the new incarnation should be, instead of Lionheart, it should be Slothheart, Chris Jericho.
And of course, he had Fozzy out there, and they were.
And he sang himself to the ring. That was
sang himself to the ring.
Other than R-Truth, who else do you know that sang themselves to the ring?
I'd rather R-Truth, I think.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to anyone else sing.
Okay.
Did not like this match. No.
Well, we had FTR and the Acclaimed both challenging the Young Bucks. Initially, I thought this was going to be a no disqualification 3-way dance. But the rules were observed because only 2 teams at a time could be in the ring. It was one of those where, yes, you accidentally got the 3rd team tagged in because if you were doing good, you didn't want them to get in.
I will say FTR in their tracksuits.
They wore that Bret Hart gear.
Ooh, double.
I immediately went against them as soon as I saw that they'd abandoned the Midnight Express.
You
and they
should
were
really stop your Canadian bias.
I think
we have fans from Canada.
92 that they did that, kind of like an homage to them, but they came out in their tracksuits.
I do have a question. Did anyone check or hear the post thing scrums, the media scrums? Heather Whitley said Hook, the match was fine, but Hook was not ready for his first media scrum. I wonder how that was. I'd like to go back and hear that now that she's.
We'll have to.
Yeah,
his little heart.
I think Hook would benefit greatly with Taz as his manager.
But probably Taz isn't wanting to do that, bro, because you don't want to go off my, coattails, bro. I don't know why Taz just turned into who, but whatever.
I don't normally like Young Buck matches. Rick Knox was in there as the referee. I know that he's going to get buried deeper than The Undertaker and buries Kane. But I got to tell you, this match was a pretty decent match. And
I would hope. I don't know how it wouldn't be with these guys in there.
I thought it was a decent
3 great tag teams.
I thought it was a decent match. FTR does what FTR does. I thought the Young Bucks were good in this match. They came out dressed like Sergeant Pepper.
I love that.
They had the Sergeant Pepper gear, and I popped for it. And it was just, for as much as I hated the FTR's gear, I liked the Young Bucks gear.
Shame be your name.
And it's just, but here's my problem with the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks, when they craft a match, they got to get their shit in. And that's what I like to call indie-rific. Because on the independent circuit, one of the biggest problems is people want to do stuff, but they got to get their shit in.
Right.
And
that's what I was going to ask you when you said they were pretty good in this match. I was thinking, well, maybe they actually wrestled with the other guys and didn't try to get their shit in. And then you're telling me,
the finish. Here's the finish. They have the belt involved. I can't remember if it was Cash or Dax. I think it was Dax.
Yeah.
Referee's not looking. He goes over. Young Buck hits him in the head with the belt. The other Young Buck rolls him up. 1, 2, kick out. The other Buck gets in the ring. FTR, EVP trigger. 1, 2, 3. Now, you could have hit him with the belt and had him sell back, jumped in the ring, hit him with the EVP trigger, and then that would have been it. But the belt shot should have been the finish. But no, we got to have Dax kick out so we can get our shit in.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you get the belt shot in, then get the finish right after the belt. That's the finish.
But that's a nitpick.
You don't have anything in between it. Yeah.
But that's a nitpick, and I'm still going to give this 3.5 jars because I truly enjoyed this match. And just that, me being critical, and I'd like to remind everybody that if you don't know, I watch all these matches through the eyes of a referee.
Right.
And I just thought that, and I don't like, nothing puts me in a worse mood is when I'm refereeing a match with guys that will sacrifice match quality for getting their shit in.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm hearing this from like a Pat Patterson voice where he's like, and here comes a belt and bam, and then the finish and pop out 1, 2, 3, and the end is over. We don't need all the shit in the middle.
Like, here we go. Fuck you, this, that. So anyway, they weren't as egregious as they normally are. It was a good match. And like I said, that's as good as it's going to get with the Young Bucks to me. I mean, I don't know if y'all have noticed a trend that I'm really enjoying this show as we go.
I feel like the Acclaimed had a good rap. I can't remember what they said now, but
I couldn't hear it.
Amy, I really wanted you to memorize it and perform it live here
I
on the show
know I
tonight.
should have. I should have. It was pretty good what they said, but I was like,
Oh, wait a minute.
"Woo."
A reporter called the FTR belt a joke, and Tony jumped all over it.
I did hear about that.
That reporter reached out to Taz on Twitter and apologized for his choice of words. And Taz was very responsive about accepting his apology. The guy was very respectful. He explained it that it wasn't exactly what he meant, and it was nice to see that the reporter reached out to Taz, but that Taz responded in kind.
I think the reporter better have reached out to Taz, because if Taz hooked you, you'll be hooked.
Yeah.
Or Tony, because Tony jumped all over it. He's never going to get to go to a scrum again.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask, who was the announcers for this show? Tony Schiavone and the masked dude, right?
Yes.
The masked dude.
And
Our
Nigel
announcers,
McGuinness.
our commentators were Excalibur, who did
Yeah.
the pre-show and the pay-per-view. We had Taz that did the whole pay-per-view. We had Tony Schiavone on the pre-show and pay-per-view. Nigel McGuinness was on the first two pay-per-view matches.
Mhm.
Jim Ross was there for the main event.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Matt Menard did the pre-show, and Don Callis sat in at the 16-man tag team match.
I was worried that JR was not going to be allowed to fly over there, so I'm glad
No, he was
made
there.
it.
He called the main event, and
How was he? Did he sound okay?
I thought he sounded great.
I thought he sounded
actually. I
good.
really thought but yeah, I thought he sounded really good.
Here we go for the
This was,
AEW International /
fabulous.
United States Championship.
this was fab- this
Will
was
Ospreay
fabulous.
challenging MJF. Second best match of the night.
This is their Intercontinental belt. It's just called International, Dave.
Well, MJF has recently changed the international belt to the United States Championship.
The American belt.
The American.
Oh, I did see him with his Lex Luger appreciation gear on.
But
Oh, he
the whole
came
thing, if you don't know, when Will Ospreay won the New Japan version of the IWGP United States Championship, he changed it to the British Championship or the Great Britain Championship he changed it from American. So when MJF beat Ospreay for the belt, he changed it to the American Championship. It was a rip. It was kind of a slap at what he had done with the other. It was a little inside.
And MJF is full baby face now, right?
No.
Oh, no? I thought they were turning him.
No,
what
he's
the hell happened to that?
Well, I mean, he's always going to be a tweener just because he's such an ass. Everybody likes him. I mean, he comes out, and if they missed an opportunity. They should have licensed Living in America.
Definitely. I guess I should have been able to tell by the devil eyes that he has that he's not a baby
But
face.
an American flag drops down, and the stars are replaced with MJF heads.
Oh, okay.
And
that's good. I kind of like
now. When we started getting close to the finish, he went in his trunks and he came out with a taped up gimmick, like brass knuckles taped, and he put those on. And there's been a little, the backyard quarterback in his. Why did he go to that instead of the ring? He had just used the ring on television this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that venue, I think it was more of a visual that you would go to the old school taped up gimmick.
Right.
Instead of trying
it's a big place. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that might have been it. But
now that I think about it, it wouldn't make very much sense for MJF to be the baby face in England against Will Ospreay.
But Will Ospreay, he used what they call a Tiger Driver 91.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he said he would never use again. He used it and beat MJF, became the
I
champion.
used to use the Tiger Driver 92 back in high school, but
you did. I was like 89. You used the 89.
and then they tried to present Will Ospreay with the belt, and he wouldn't take MJF's belt, and
Christopher Daniels.
that looks exactly like Efren now.
Well, he better be talking softly and carrying a big stick.
The resemblance is uncanny when I see Christopher Daniels, and I think he looks just like Efren.
Oh,
That,
wow. Well, a gay kid from South LA or whatever, and Christopher Daniels, they look a lot alike.
He brings in the international belts, and that's what Ospreay got. So
The one thing I know you all, I watched the Go Home show, I guess, on AEW on Wednesday. And I really thought this is probably the first time I've seen this happen. I thought it was pretty cool. So Will Ospreay and MJF meet in the ring. They've agreed not to be physical, like they would be fined or whatever. And so they're jamming, they're blah, blah, blah. I think it was in England, right? That
Yes.
Wednesday show was in England.
Yeah.
And MJF said something about basically impregnating Will Ospreay's wife. And Will Ospreay goes, and he's mad. And he's like,
demon spawn.
I can't remember. I can't remember what he said, but that's the gist of it. And so Will Ospreay's like talking to Tony Schiavone, find out how much that fine is that if I were to hit MJF. And Tony Schiavone comes on and he's like, whatever, 150,000. I don't know what he said. He goes, it's worth it. And he starts whooping. He starts pounding on Will Ospreay. I said, you know what? I thought that was pretty good. I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen when there's we can't touch or we're going to be fined or whatever.
It might
someone
be a first.
Asking
permission and then
fine?
do it anyways.
Yeah. Or what is the fine?
Yeah.
Okay, I can pay that. And I just thought that was great. That was really cool. It was a good match.
Steve should have asked Gorilla Monsoon that back in '96. What's the fine here?
Exactly.
Gorilla be like $65,000.
I loved Will Ospreay's entrance. Like that was just so. It was the
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and there was that cross promotion that everybody just fawns over WWE when they can tie in that sponsorship money. But AEW did an excellent job with the Assassin's Creed presentation.
I mean, there were actual other ninjas flipping and doing things.
Yeah.
They've
done that before. I remember watching that thing when the what's his name? The kid that came over from WWE that has the girlfriend that's in wrestling. Adam plays video games.
Adam Cole?
Yeah.
No.
He did that, right? With one of his video games that he likes. On one of the pay-per-views, he came out all dressed up like one of those things. I can't remember which one it was.
I don't think that they're a couple anymore, so just FYI.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued by Britt Baker and Adam Cole.
I was just going to say that he's on the market.
I don't know, but from what I understood, he melted down on his Twitch channel. He's highly upset.
That
they broke up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm figuring. I mean, he moved back to Pennsylvania by himself.
Maybe he should playing video games.
But the report was that he broke down on his Twitch channel talking.
I don't want to hear that.
I heard that he was jealous that she was spending too much time with Tony Schiavone. That's the word on the street.
Is that the word on the street?
I see him.
He's got that nice beard. I don't know. Kind of cute. Nice looking man.
Because it's all about Schiavone.
That was a very good match though. Will Ospreay and that was a good match.
So now we have the gauntlet match, the casino gauntlet match.
That's right.
The winner of this match is they get a contract. It's kind of a money in the bank type deal. It's their money in the bank.
They get a contract for a match, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they can cash in. I think they can.
Right. I mean, they got the contract and they can use it whenever they want.
Yeah, I think they can run in and like the money in the bank and cash it in. Orange Cassidy comes out and starts this match against Okada.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Okada's entrance was the rain, the money running. It was. I love Okada so much. I think he's the best wrestler in the world. I do pop every time he calls somebody a bitch, but
that's funny.
I really want to see Okada. I would have loved to see him win this match.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Okada become the Okada that he should be. Right now and he may be having the time of his life right now, and maybe it's just not the time to put him in that. I mean, he's got the Continental belt. He carries himself like a champion. He's an incredible performer.
He will be best wrestler in the world when Bret Hart dies.
Now coming out third, Nigel McGuinness.
Mm-hmm. I like seeing that too.
Nigel McGuinness, who last I heard had hepatitis.
Oh, okay. Well,
last I heard, you got it from that girl with the tuna can. So
hey now.
Last I heard, you gave it to Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, it came from the tuna can girl.
From what I understand, that it's very treatable disease now, and so apparently nobody. I mean, you got to think about it. If he would have bled, I'm sure that they would have had it. They would have had it where they.
Is this hepatitis B or which one are we talking about? There's a whole alphabet.
It's the one where they told him he couldn't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, because as a teacher, I have to get a vaccine for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a wrestling license, you have to take blood. You have to have blood work to be tested for it. What I'm saying is that immediately I thought, why are we doing this? Does everybody feel comfortable about it? But from what I understand now, it's very treatable, almost not detectable when treated right. But is it any more?
So is AIDS, but I don't want it.
But is it any more? But what I'm saying is, I had a friend of mine make a good point. All the crazy, stupid shit they do in AEW, dropping folks on their heads and all that other stuff, is it any more dangerous than this? And if he would have got nicked open, if he'd got nicked or something, they probably had a protocol in place that they get him out of there immediately. So
I had a situation,
but
I had a student that scratched my arm, popped open a thing, and I bled, and it got on my teacher aid. She said, "Should I go get tested?" I said, "Well, I don't think so, because if I had AIDS, I'd be a lot skinnier than I am right now, I think."
God almighty.
Way to put her
gave
mind
her
at ease.
Gave her the heebie-jeebies. So anyway, Nigel McGuinness got to return to the ring. He got to do it in England. Yeah. It came out to tremendous pop. Next up, we had Kyle O'Reilly. There's no order of elimination, because there's the fallacy with this match is that the first pinball wins it, but nobody ever gets pinned until everybody's out there. So they probably need to make this where it's a kind of a gauntlet, but until everybody gets out in the ring, nobody can win. But you're fighting and tiring each other out. So you're giving the person that comes out last the advantage. How about that? Mm-hmm. Anyway, we had Zack Sabre Jr. Looks tremendous. They love him there. Roderick Strong came out. We had Mark Briscoe. We had that asshole Hangman Adam Page.
Mm-hmm.
But then our boy, cue the music, My World came out. Jeff Jarrett, he hits the ring and goes after Hangman, thanks to a distraction by Karen, who looked like $1 million. The Hangman was a recipient of a guitar necklace.
Definitely deserved.
Debuting in AEW, Ricochet. Ricochet makes his AEW debut.
And you know what? Watching him, he completely belongs in AEW. The movements that he was doing, and
he's definitely a better guy over there, I think.
And he seemed like, I don't know, I hate to say faster, but that's kind of silly, but he was just like literally, and again, it could have been the excitement of debuting. So he was all over the place.
Well,
they don't discourage that. They don't discourage that there.
Right, that's what I was going to say. It's not a lie when they say there's a WWE style of wrestling.
Right.
And they're not going to tell him that he can't do it, but they're going to slow him down just a little bit, sell the story, and blah, blah, blah.
And now it gets interesting.
Well, I was going to say, Terry makes a good point, though. He was called Ricochet.
But he was called Ricochet before he got there.
Well, and they haven't been holding on to names as hard since Vince left.
But they couldn't hold on to Ricochet because he was Ricochet before he went there.
Mm.
But AEW probably would have called him Rick O'Shea. And
he's Irish. His name's Rick O'Shea.
Put him in a little flying leprechaun unit.
That would have been good.
Oh, that's so
So
funny.
now, unexpectedly, here comes Christian Cage limping to the ring. Still feeling the effects from the ladder match, but Christian Cage enters the casino gauntlet match. And he gets in there, and then the next person out, the music hits, and it's not Kill Switch. It's Luchasaurus.
Back from the dead, like all the
Well,
dinosaurs.
no, I mean, remember he left earlier. Kill Switch left him out to dry. Left him. He was mad and he'd had enough and he left. Now Luchasaurus is in it, who has more 5-star matches than Kurt Angle.
Okay, speaking of that though, I do want to ask a question because when I was watching AEW back in the day, and Luchasaurus first got there, I was a big supporter of Luchasaurus, even though I knew he was pretty green in the ring and he had a lot to learn. I saw flashes of really good stuff, and I thought if he works some sharp edges off and rounds them out, he can be pretty good. So are you telling me he hasn't improved all that much?
No, I think he's a hell of a performer.
I mean, I love him.
I just think it's a joke he's got a 5-star match and Kurt Angle didn't.
Well, I get it, but I mean, I will say I've been impressed with his work as a big man.
Yeah,
I like his work.
And he gets to the ring and he grabs Roderick Strong. I mean, he grabs Christian by the throat like he's going to give him a choke slam. Roderick Strong comes up. He lets go of Christian, grabs Roderick Strong, choke slam, picks up Christian, puts Christian on top of Roderick Strong. Christian has now got the casino contract.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see when Christian's going to cash that in. And I don't hate it. What I'm saying is I don't hate it. It was a surprise. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even to the point where Kill Switch left and Luchasaurus returned. It was so brilliant. And I mean, for a company that we say didn't tell stories, they've done a good job tonight of telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the biggest Christian fan in the world. I mean, I think Christian's doing the best work of his career.
I am. I'm a big Christian fan.
He's doing the best work of his career, but so I mean, I didn't hate this at all. I would have liked to seen Okada win it.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared that Orange Cassidy was going to win it.
Mm.
No disrespect to Orange Cassidy. It's just that I would have rather seen. I think Okada. You could have put it on Nigel. You could have gave it to Nigel McGuinness if you wanted him and Daniel Bryan to finally have a match. Hangman Page, everybody thought was going to get it. I would have loved to see Jeff Jarrett get it just because.
Who did they put it on? We're talking about everyone they didn't put it on. Who did they put it on?
Christian Cage.
Okay, yeah.
Won.
And Luchasaurus won it. Put him on top of Roderick Strong for the win.
Yeah.
So I mean, just the surprises in that match, it was really good. Really good.
Unlike you, I don't have a Canadian wrestler bias, and I love Christian Cage.
I don't have a Canadian wrestler bias. I don't like Bret Hart. Bret Hart was not even the best wrestler in his family.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you're a big Bruce Hart fan, but we all know he sucks.
Well, Owen was the best. Owen was the best in the family.
Listen,
Smith Hart ruled.
It depends on what you're saying the best is.
Well,
they were very different.
Let's talk about what the best ain't.
This match,
I didn't expect much out of, and
I loved her entrance, Mercedes Moné. That entrance was
that was a good entrance.
That was a good entrance
with the corgis and the carriage.
Yes, and then her robe was like a royal purple. And like it was good. That was good.
But she can't hit her damn finisher.
I'm a sucker for some royal purple, Amy. They come in purple. I'm rooting for them.
She tried to hit. Britt Baker.
A hard match all the way around. I don't know what was. Something was off. Like it just was. I mean, again, we just
no chemistry.
Mariah. Well, maybe I don't know. We just watched Mariah May and Toni Storm, and they really had a good match. And
Tony
something,
Khan
I
thinks
don't know.
he thinks he signed a star quarterback, but the backup quarterback's better.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I don't understand. When I heard that they gave her all this money, I'm like, they gave that much money to someone I barely know, and I watch a good bit of WWE. Like,
I mean, let's talk about
I don't know.
Mercedes Moné. Inside of the WWE system, she's a product of the WWE system. She
Yeah,
flourished in the WWE system. She left the WWE system with a very inflated opinion of herself, went to Japan and got hurt twice. She ain't built for this life.
yep.
She can get better and adapt, but I mean, she's had a hard time hitting her finish. Britt Baker is not a big woman, and she still
No.
did a piss poor job on the finish. She
But see, I
botched
just
her finish.
Wow.
What I'm
Wow.
saying is that she got her signing and her position on the card based on the hype of coming from the WWE. Hey, and I'm gonna go you one better than this too. Cody Rhodes is better in the WWE system.
Right.
Because he's a product of the WWE system. That's not saying that he's not good, but his best work is in the WWE system.
Mm-hmm.
WWE takes some of these athletes and put them in their system and teaches them how they want them to be. And they didn't want indie people because they didn't want to have to break what they call bad habits.
Right.
But this match was this was a two and a half jars at best.
What I think, Dave, with her going to AEW, when we think about the wars of the 90s between WCW and WWE, there was kind of a equal guys going back and forth. There for a while, it was more guys from WWE going to WCW, but then it was kind of equal top talent going back and forth, and it was whatever. Now, with AEW, with the ratings as bad as they've been and everything, and WWE as hot as it's been, I feel like what AEW is attracting is people that are dissatisfied at WWE and think they're better than they are. And so now they're pulling them over to AEW and say, oh, this is a huge star. And it's going to fall flat because they.
In fairness, she is a huge star. But even in WWE, she was the fourth of to me on
that's
the
what
depth
I'm
chart.
saying. She wasn't the biggest star.
On the four horsewomen, she was number 4 to me.
I don't think that Britt Baker was a very good opponent for her. And I
think it was too soon.
Yeah, that's what I wonder if
this was hot shotted, 100% hot shotted.
Yeah. I wonder if Britt Baker would have been better off getting her sea legs back, kind of in a sense of, and wrestling a few more people or whatever. Because I just don't think.
Why is Britt back and going after the TBS champion and not the world champion?
Right.
Yeah.
You've got no history with her. It's a hot shotted angle. They didn't bother with any storytelling. I think that you should have made Britt Baker earn her way into it by having to go through Camille.
It's just like they took
Camille is the best part of this duo.
Yeah.
Camille is absolutely the best part of this duo. And I think that's where the storytelling is going to go with Camille.
Yeah.
Well, and then here we are. The TBS championship was on the card later than the women's champion. And, and that was a way better match.
My question is, you guys said there wasn't much build to it and stuff. Do you think they didn't really, they just put it together because it was two names that they felt they could put in a championship match on this pay-per-view and they just didn't worry about building it too much?
That's what I'm saying is that that's the part that's so disheartening is that I had nothing in it there was nothing here for me to make me want to watch this match because Britt came back and she told her story about how she had a stroke and I mean, now, but you're back going after her. She's not the world champion. Why aren't you going after Toni Storm?
Well,
you have no history. You have no history with the TBS championship.
And I don't know about you all, but I really didn't think Britt would win the title. I didn't feel like they would take it off
shouldn't
of
have.
Mercedes, so like with Toni Storm and Mariah May, I wasn't super sure what they were going to do. So I liked that part of it too. But I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of felt like
It's
there's no way they're taking it
But
off.
they didn't hot shot that story.
Right.
I mean, when
Right.
Mariah
Oh,
May
Lord.
finally turned on Tony Storm, it was at the Owen. I
Yeah.
wasn't even looking for it. When she turned around here with that belt, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
I knew eventually it was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to be right then. This was like Britt coming back. This is my house. This is my house.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you just come in here and I mean,
I guess that's the story. I was going to say it feels weird to me to flip a title like that without any build. And I guess the build is just her comeback. That's the build, and that's the flip.
They did the Eddie Guerrero spot where she pitched the belt to Camille. That's another thing is Camille held the belt during the match. When the match is on, when the title's on the line, it should have been put on the timekeeper's table. It's the little things. But and it's not like she couldn't have used the New Japan belt as a weapon. But Britt pitches the belt. Britt pitches the belt back to Camille and and then does a flat back. Referee turns around, sees it, throws Camille out. I think Camille should have been at ringside and caused Britt to lose. I think that it should have been some interference. I don't think Britt should have lost clean. I'm not even sure what got her into that botched finish. It was just this is by far the worst match of the night.
It was a botch into a botch. Is that what you're saying, Dave?
They were not gelling. But you know what? Like you said, they could have very easily done. I mean, I guess they were wanting to do this at All In, but it's like you could have very easily had Mercedes saying, well, you have to earn this right to fight me. And like you said, she could have said, well, you need to wrestle Willow Knight. Chris Statlander. Like she could have given her 5 or 6 people like
building up to making her go through Camille.
Yes. And then Camille could have been the last one, I don't know. I just don't know about it. I just was kind of like, I just thought it was, like you said, I don't think either one of them probably were at a good space where Mercedes could carry Britt or Britt could carry Mercedes. Like it just, I don't know. It just something about the match was just kind of.
It was off, and I didn't.
Yeah, it was off.
Surprisingly, this one was okay. I'm sorry, I don't know why this picture won't come into focus, but it's
Jack Perry,
Jungle Jack off against the glorified stuntman. I was not looking forward to this match.
Does Jack Perry still have the same entrance music that he's always had? Because that was kind of babyface music. Okay,
they changed it. I mean, I got back from the bathroom, and this is true. I did. This is when I dipped. I got back in time to see Darby get put in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
Darby comes down with tacks gorilla glued to his head.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
what'd you just say?
He gorilla glued tacks to his head.
Yeah.
And then did a battering ram into Jack Perry's.
I mean,
I got the pin that one Hellraiser.
Yeah. It was inventive. It was inventive.
Man, I don't want to see this young man get hurt. I don't want to see, and he does not wrestle safe. Jack Perry.
And if he wants to retire to a good home,
let me ask y'all something. Let me ask you something. Somebody hits a chop. When somebody hits a chop in the ring, what do you do, or what do the fans do when there's a chop in the ring?
They woo.
Ooh.
They woo. Usually,
right. And why do they woo?
Because of some routine man that used to do it every match.
So you've done something in your match that has taken the attention off of you and made you think about Ric Flair.
Yeah, you're right.
So Jack Perry goes out of his way to do stuff in matches. He got his little real glass spot in. For a man, because you want to take a shot, or you want to work the smart marks and draw attention to CM Punk, who doesn't work there, because you weren't smart enough or built mentally tough enough to make money with him.
Exactly.
So you're making your whole shtick is making me think about a guy that's working for the biggest wrestling company in the world.
And probably ain't thought of you in a very long
I
time.
mean, you're living Buck's living rent free in this kid's head.
Mhm.
So can't you do things to make me think of you? Now I do like that he's done something to the TNT belt and painted it black, and I like what he's done with the belt. I liked seeing him standing on top of the coffin in victory.
Yeah.
I think he should have won the match. I do agree that he is a better character if they would just tweak him and get him away from all this stupid shit that he does. I mean, you're wanting to keep doing callbacks to something you should be ashamed of, and we don't want to talk about. Quit. They got a lot of people that watch WWE. You don't have to help them by doing commercials for CM Punk.
Exactly. Who is on fashion?
I mean, I guess Jack Perry thinks that that's the only way he can keep his name alive is by keep bringing up his thing with CM Punk.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's what it feels like, and I would
He's
not.
obviously still bitter over it. Lord, let it
or
go,
it's
Jack.
just cheap heat, man, and total combined weight of 300 pounds. I do not believe that those two combined for 300 pounds, Drew.
Hey, I don't either.
Maybe 140 and 160. That's 300. All right.
And if Jack didn't have the beard, they wouldn't make it.
But I don't know if Darby Allin has pictures of Tony Khan that's incriminating why he gets pushed as hard as he does.
People like him.
Maybe Tony Khan was just a huge 90210 mark, and I'm seriously saying that. I think that is a possibility because Tony Khan is my age, and we grew up in the early 90s.
I don't know.
I bet he
Darby
was.
Darby Allin does. I mean, he runs as fast as he can and slings himself out of the ring and into the guardrails, and it's just that
people like him. I mean, I like him. I don't know. There's something about him.
He's going to
I don't
cripple
like all
himself,
that.
and I don't.
I love.
That's what I like about it. I don't like that he's going. It's. I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
Right.
Because he just keeps. He ups his game every time till one of these times he's going to cripple himself.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see that.
I think that's
for Jack Perry.
I saw it with Darren Drozdov on accident.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't want to see. I mean, enough bad can happen without you having to try to do stupid stuff because and I don't care if nobody ever speaks to me again for saying this. You got to do stupid shit in the ring like that because when you don't know how to work.
Well, what does stupid shit mean? Because Mick Foley did some stuff that
I didn't like it when Foley did it either.
All right. Well, I disagree with that.
I didn't like it when Foley did it either.
Because I think I don't think it. Yeah.
When he went through that cage and his tooth came out of his nose.
Yeah.
Whew,
I didn't like
I
that,
understand
man.
that. Okay, but let me say what I'm saying. Mick Foley, you're saying if you're doing that stuff, you can't work. We all know Mick Foley could work his ass off. Mick Foley was one of the best workers, in my opinion, especially for someone that was 6'5", 6'4", and 350 pounds. I think that Mick Foley was a fantastic worker. That bump that he did, that little twirl over the gate in WCW and hit double gate and went over. I mean, just the way he could get his body to do stuff.
I didn't say that Mick Foley couldn't work.
But I'm saying I don't compare the two.
But what percentage of the match do you think Darby Allin spends inside the ring?
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't compare the two because I think there's a big difference in ring psychology between the two of them where I would rank Mick very much higher than Darby Allin. And so I think storytelling wise and stuff, there's a lot of difference in the two.
He's got a title shot at Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
I can't wait not to watch that.
What I wanted to say about Jack Perry, though, when I went to Jacksonville and watched that pay-per-view, it was the first one back after COVID. And it was a really fun time. and he came out with Luchasaurus, and we were all, the crowd was just singing, oh, 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 and it
Yeah.
was just so fun, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching him wrestle, and I enjoyed him, and then just this whole thing with CM Punk and everything has just kind of soured my opinion on him, and now I don't even like watching him anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the idea of the heel turn. I guess that's kind of the idea of it. I don't know.
What kind of hate?
Well, and he had to grow up. But I mean, you can't be Jungle Boy for the rest of your life. I do like that he's moved on to, a different character. Even though he's with the EVPs, I mean, I think his attitude and stuff, I mean, I think it goes well together. So,
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely the dominant
I
heel in
do.
that
I agree with
action.
that too. I mean, he goes well with those two right now because you hate all three of them the most out of anyone in the company.
The EVP,
Probably, right?
The evil authority figure is overdone, but the Young Bucks are doing it well.
Yeah.
I will say that them being the evil EVPs is probably I mean, it's the only time that I've ever said anything good about it.
What they did was they leaned into natural heat, and anytime you do that, it works.
And I don't even like it when they take their little digs at CM Punk. They need to let it go. But I think it's good, and I like that we got Christopher Daniels as the other side of the coin, and maybe they'll work something out, and then Shane McMahon will be the good general manager against the EVPs. Maybe you'll have Christopher Daniels and Shane McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
If they do anything, if they decide to do anything with Shane McMahon as a character on screen.
Again, just to say on these guys, their entrances were both really good. I mean,
oh yeah, Flight of the Valkyries.
And no, they did the final countdown.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And but I'm just
saying,
saying,
Flight of the Valkyries, but I could hear the final countdown in my head.
And if 50,000 people were singing that song and doing the whole yes chant and stuff, I mean, again, the entrances and the I really I mentioned this to Zach Haydorn, but I really think the European crowds, like, I want to go overseas to watch a show because the crowd is just amazing, like how they get into it.
Yes.
They're hollering and they're cheering and it's everything. Like, I think it would be fun just to sit in the crowd and just listen to everybody. And
well, I mean, did you hear? They changed the words to a song as we're singing to Jeff Jarrett the other night.
Oh yeah, well, whatever.
Da 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 da.
Yeah,
baby, give it up, give it. They were going double J, double J, double double J.
And the one that they sing with Will Ospreay, they were doing for Nigel McGuinness. I mean, like I said, they were just.
Yes.
Is Teppy here tonight? Huh?
No.
God, I wanted her to grab Teppy. We need to grab that little singing of Dave right there. We need to put that in a little clip.
She don't know how to grab it, make edit. She don't know how to edit clips.
But I just love the energy of the crowd was also, I think, a huge part of it feeling like a good show. Like, the crowd was super into it. And like I said, they had their own chants. They were doing all kinds of stuff. Daniel Bryanson, or no.
What? Bryanson?
I know that's not right.
Bryan
Danielson. I was like, that's not right.
I mean,
that sounded like a Kentucky word you made up down there.
Swerve was a great champion because he could work heel, he could work face. I mean, he was just working Swerve, and this situation called for him to be the heel, and he played it up tremendous. I mean, he was screwing with the kids.
Yeah,
he was torturing the kids during the match.
So Bryan Danielson's kids and Nikki or Bree were at ringside, and they're showing them, and
I'm glad that they waited this long to put the belt on Bryan Danielson. He's never won it, right?
Not in AEW.
That's what I mean. And the fact that they were patient with him, they actually kind of long booked him, which is rare with them. And I think
Tony Khan wants it on his resume that he had Bryan Danielson as his AEW champion.
But I think he is the right guy for Strickland to lose it to because it doesn't kill Swerve you know, because he's kind of a young guy coming up, first time champion. I don't think it kills him to lose to Brian Daniels, right?
This is the equivalent of Kerry Von Erich beating Ric Flair. He did it for the event. He did it for the event. Swerve's going to be okay. Swerve's going to be okay for this. We haven't seen the last of Swerve as AEW champion, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think this is a way to keep by dropping it to Brian Danielson. It's a way to keep Swerve strong, I guess is what I was trying to say, and keep him in the conversation. Because if you know, I think if you lose it to some other people, maybe there's a question of about losing it to legitimate, considered the best wrestler in the world, Brian Danielson. I think you can say, well, he's still okay.
And he tapped out. Swerve tapped out. So to whatever.
And that's respect of a young guy, probably to do it the right way for Brian.
They used the labella lock.
Yeah, that's what it was, the labella lock.
I thought this match was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I love Swerve Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an autographed picture of Swerve Strickland right above my monitor here, holding the AEW belt. So I recently got it.
Yeah,
I don't put a lot of current stuff in my man cave, but I'm just such a fan of Swerve Strickland.
And again, that crowd, whose house? 50,000 people screamed Swerve's house. So I mean, you know, he's not
damaged for this.
He's not a Jack Perry where, you know, people don't like him, you know, like you said.
Fingers crossed they know what to do with him going forward from here to get him back around. I think Christian's gonna probably be the one to take the belt off of Brian Danielson, and he's gonna do it in a dirty manner.
Yeah, and I think that would be cool.
Cash in, so it doesn't really hurt Brian Danielson. There wasn't nothing he can do about it on a cash in. Unless Brian Danielson puts somebody else over for the title, and Christian immediately cashes in and gets
this was a babyface versus babyface match, right? Or no, you said worked heel.
No, Swerve worked. Swerve worked as a heel. And he's got something coming on. Hangman Page showed up and had to be drug out.
Yeah.
So Hangman tried to interfere.
So there's the rub with that, them two going after this.
And that caused a kind of a diversion so Hangman's got a problem with Swerve.
And that puts Swerve back as a face because people don't like Hangman,
right.
You know, so I mean, getting involved in all that.
Yeah, he was just kind of working this angle as a heel and then moving back to face kind of thing. Okay.
Yes.
But y'all, we got this pay-per-view in 4 hours. Y'all heard me complain in the past that watching AEW pay-per-views, like I like Swerve, two or three pay-per-views ago, I fell asleep and slept through Swerve's match.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
Right.
I mean, I fell asleep through the match, and that's the match that I wanted to see. I don't think that this match was booked this show was booked this way on accident. I think that there's been I think that they're learning as they go, and I think they've learned that giving us an 8-hour pay-per-view is not a good idea.
Well, and I feel like
you know what?
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like we've heard of different people coming on board, you know, CFOs, COO, you know, like different people that are coming on board. And you would think, or you would hope that some of that stuff would come from their expertise and booking places. And, you know, like you said, nobody wants an 8-hour pay-per-view, and you know, we need to do it like this. So hopefully, you know, maybe some of that stuff is starting to happen, and he's listening to the people that, you know.
Yeah. I think at the beginning he was thinking, you know, Vince McMahon is not giving what the wrestling fan what they want. So I'm going to give them these long matches, pure wrestling, stuff that Vince won't give them. And that's how I'm going to be different than Vince. Then he realized that's probably not going to get your ratings. And so now I think he's made, you know, I have crapped on him a lot, but who knows? He could have been the crappiest booker as a late 30-year-old and learn a lot from it. And by the time he's 45, he's one of the best bookers alive. So, I mean, you know, maybe he's learning from his mistakes. I hope so.
Yeah, it just got us to learn to tie everything in. And it can be, I mean, I understand we just wanting great matches, but a little story helps. And there was a lot of stories that brought us to where we were on this pay-per-view. I'll be interested to see what we're going to do with just another one coming up in 2 weeks.
Mm. Well, and he literally has 3 shows. He literally has all, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage.
I
Like
thought that was a little bit ambitious. I think that was part of the problem. I mean, you saw his product go down once he went to 3 shows and even 2. But you look at what Eric Bischoff says about how Thunder really ruined their Thunder.
And hey, he's providing the channel what they want.
Yeah,
I get it.
They need content. Content is crucial in today's market. And so he may not have wanted all those shows, but they wanted him. His partners at Turner wanted them, and that's what they got. And
but I'm just saying he has 3 shows to help prolong stories and start. Like there's no reason.
Well, like we said today, he had 60 people on that opening match on the Dark Show, so it's like he's got a lot of people to get on shows.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, he's trying to get a television deal for Ring of Honor. Which I hope he does.
I do too. They need their own show. But
in closing on this, I'd just like to say that I'm giving it 4 jars, y'all.
I agree.
I will go as far as say this has been my favorite AEW pay-per-view so far.
I didn't watch it, but listening to you guys talk about it and listening to the results and kind of what happened in the matches, it seems like it was decent to me.
I don't have buyer's remorse. It was worth every penny I paid for it. I mean, if you're
was it extra compared? I mean, usually what is it?
$49.99.
Okay,
it's $49.99, and I actually bought it on YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube buying it up from YouTube was an option this time, and it was very painless procedure to buy it through YouTube. And it worked. It worked perfectly. And
can you watch it? Can you watch it again? Because on Triller, I bought it on Triller, and it has endless replays.
I've never wanted to watch it again.
Listen to you tech kids talk about your tech stuff.
Well, they did have it where you could get All In and All Out. This is on Triller for like $85. So you could buy both pay-per-views for $85 versus $50. But yeah, mine said endless replay. So I guess if I go back to that website, I'm going to watch the FTR.
So she can watch FTR as much as she wants.
Exactly.
Let me see.
She's got to be checking out those Bret Hart tights over and over again, Pondwater Dave.
That I'm telling you, that tracksuit.
There it is. If Terry Weaver puts his stamp of approval on it, you can bet it's good because that man is cheap and he won't spend a dime on anything that ain't good. So YouTube is a great purchase, Terry says.
His David Buster story. So I'll tell it. If y'all heard his David Buster story. So, when we went down to Huntsville, we were all watching it. We watched the pay-per-view. We all went to David Buster's and we, enjoyed ourselves. So Terry thought he would do that for the next pay-per-view because they were going to have it for free. And he's like $150 later because he had to sit there for 5 hours to watch it. He like food, drink, dessert, appetizer.
Listen, you freeloader. If you ain't gonna buy a beer, get the hell out, Terry.
And I can watch it. I can watch it again. So there's that.
Good. That's good.
I enjoyed it. No buyers.
I didn't have any problems with the pay-per-view. Like the sound going on. Like I didn't have any problems with it. Like it ran very well. Like you said, I feel like they learned.
Listen, everyone's getting hot at me because I called Terry cheap. It was a joke, y'all. I was just teasing.
Frugal is not the same as cheap.
Carla, he was trying to be frugal by going to David Buster's and not paying, but then he said he felt bad for the waitress, so he ended up spending $150.
Yeah, that does suck. As a former waiter, this happened to me a lot because I worked at Damon's in college, and we had those big screens. So every Sunday, people would come to watch NFL games, which means they would eat and drink and then sit there for 3 hours, and you don't get anything else out of it. Exactly. You're stuck with a $10 tip.
Before we get into trivia, has anybody seen the WWE and Fanatics have come out with college with college wrestling belts.
I think
Yes,
I
I mean,
I've seen
saw
college
that.
belts,
something.
like they've got Alabama, Oklahoma.
They came out with baseball belts earlier this summer. I saw.
Even the jobber of they even there's a jobber college that has a belt. I mean, trash ass Nebraska.
Somebody went to that college now.
Let me tell you how bad Nebraska sucks.
Mm.
They made a belt for the University of Nebraska, and they put the Nebraska basketball logos on it. They didn't even put the basketball.
They
It's
ought
not
to
even
put the
Nebraska
volleyball logo
football.
on it.
It's Nebraska being the basketball powerhouse they are.
It's not.
Put the basketball logos on the leather.
They're not even good at basketball. They've never been good at it.
They wouldn't even acknowledge that jobber Nebraska football
I
team.
don't even know if I've ever seen a Nebraska team play basketball on TV. I don't think I ever have. I didn't even know they played basketball in that school.
I think volleyball is the only thing that draws in that stadium.
That's what I thought. Like, if you want to make a belt, it should be volleyball.
Volleyball, because they draw.
Because I mean, the football don't win, the basketball don't win, the volleyball wins.
Y'all,
unless they're gonna dig up Tom Osborne and put 90,000 volts.
Oh, he's still alive, but
is he?
Yes.
Well, never mind.
He looks like he could be put away.
Poor Andrew Hermes, his ears are.
See, I saw Andrew posted. Dr. Tom Osborne was at practice, I think.
That little bit that I just did is called a receipt.
There is only one Dr. Tom, and that is.
And I was just egging him on.
Not. Awesome.
Oh, all right. That was.
Yeah, there's your Kool-Aid, Andrew. Did we give you enough Kool-Aid this week?
Josh Henney bought one of those belts and he showed it to me last night, and it does have Nebraska's basketball logo on it. And he was like, amazing. What the actual
I swear to God, I've watched college basketball all my life, and I don't think I ever remember watching Nebraska play in a basketball game.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had basketball.
It's time for Amy's Trivia. Think you have the facts. Let's play and see.
All right, we're going to do a little British wrestler edition.
Ooh.
Who am I? Okay.
All right.
Now don't look at all the things that we got one at a time.
Okay, I will. I'm not even looking.
Good. Shut your eyes.
Well, you got it to read. I'll take it off and I won't put it up until we're done.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, look at that little trick. Production trick by Pondwater.
Well, I saw enough of it to already know the answer.
Oh, okay.
Really?
And
I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat on my cam. I didn't look.
I didn't cheat. I just saw one of the hints gave it away to me, but go ahead.
Oh, it was very last hint, wasn't it?
Somewhere in the middle, I think.
Stuck in the middle with you, Amy.
I was born February 28th, 1965 in Northampton, England.
I'm not right about this then. Keep going.
My parents divorced, and my mom and I moved to Miami in the 70s. I was an amateur wrestler in high school, and after high school, I received...
Is this Dave Taylor?
No.
Okay.
And I received professional wrestling training from Boris and Dean Malenko. During my 20-plus year career, I wrestled in the Florida's independent scene, UFW, WCW, ECW, TNA, and CMLL. But I am currently working as a trainer for WWE NXT. Who am I?
Fit Finley?
William Regal?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. See, these are fun because you don't know these people are British.
Oh, thanks. Well, then, yeah, I'm sure I'll get it then if I don't know that.
No, I'm just saying you don't realize they're British.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it's like Rod Stewart when he sings, he doesn't sound British.
I guess. I don't know. I've never heard this person sing.
He's a year younger than me.
Uh-huh.
He's a year older than me, I mean.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Trainer.
Yes.
The trainer's got me mixed up.
Name some trainers at the WWE NXT.
that unsexy boy. I think he's from
No.
Texas.
Yeah.
Y'all need me to tell y'all?
Yeah.
You want to keep guessing? Norman Smiley.
Oh,
Oh,
I
the big
wish I
wiggle. I should have known that.
thought he was
Would-
Canadian. I really thought he was
Did you
Canadian.
think? Did you think? I didn't know he was British. No,
I thought
is
he was
from
Canadian.
England. Nope, he's from England, and then they moved to Miami.
Oh,
All righty, y'all ready for the next one?
go ahead.
I was born October 10th, 1946 in London, England, weighing a whopping 14 pounds, 6 ounces. That's a big baby. I know y'all haven't had any. That's a big baby. My biggest rival during my time in wrestling in England ended up being my one-time tag team partner, Big Daddy.
That's who I was going to guess.
I wrestled all over the world, Germany and Canada, India. I even won the Stampede International Tag Team Championship belts with Dynamite Kid. I wrestled in WCW under the moniker Loch Ness within the Dungeon of Doom group.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
yeah. What is his?
I passed away in November 1998 due to lymphoma. Who am I?
I remember Loch Ness, and I know I can picture his face. I know what he looks like, but I cannot remember his name.
Yeah.
Kind of reddish hair,
Uh,
brown reddish, somewhere in there.
he was I mean, when I saw him, he was like
The chat's not delivering on these answers tonight either.
No.
they're not
What's his name? I'm gonna know it as soon as you say it.
giant haystacks.
Yes.
Oh
Giant
wow.
haystacks.
He's like, yes.
Yes, I mean I remember.
Jones.
I knew that the guy that wrestled as Loch Ness was something else,
Giant
and I
Haystacks
couldn't.
is the same as Haystacks Calhoun, correct?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
no,
Yeah.
they're not the same person.
Okay.
But he did okay. So when he started, he did use that name, and
Okay.
then to kind of like you said, his real name was Martin Ruane. Yeah. But no, he did use that name for a little bit, but they're two separate people. Haystacks Calhoun was in the United States.
Well,
to where
yeah, he was
Austin
older too.
Haystack says, "Get in my belly."
Yes.
All righty.
Wow.
Next.
Wow. You went for a deep cut on Loch Ness on our ass, Amy. What else? I mean, and Norman Smiley, who everyone thought was Canadian. So who else? What other legendary British wrestlers do you have?
Well, and you know what? When I was figuring all this up, I was like, Kevin Sullivan is going to be the Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation because it's like he was in the Dungeon
Loch
of Doom.
Ness,
It's
yeah.
just, All right. Next, third one. I was born August 8th, 1929 in London, England. I attained my black belt in judo before I started my wrestling career. When I came to America, I wrestled many talents like Bruno Sammartino and Dory Funk Jr., but eventually, due to bad knees, turned to managing and commentary. I am known for having spoken the
Lord
phrase,
Alfred Hayes.
promotional consideration paid for by the following. Which is
Stu,
heard
what do you have to say about Brett just winning the Intercontinental title? Yeah. Thank you, Stu. Back to you, Vince. That's the best Lord
I
Alfred.
actually saw Lord Alfred Hayes wrestle at the Sportatorium.
Really?
They brought him in. I believe he was managed by Akbar that night. They brought him in to take on gentleman Chris Adams in a British type match, the Queensberry rules or something, and they had the rounds
yes.
But it was Lord Alfred Hayes and gentleman Chris Adams, and I did get to see him actually as a wrestler.
Did you know that also Amy, Lord Alfred Hayes is a legendary stick man?
Yeah.
No.
That's a true story.
He once won a 3-legged race by himself.
That's right.
Interesting. I did not know that. One of the other little stories that I saw is that he actually beat Dory Funk Jr. for the NWA heavyweight title, but Dory Funk Sr. attacked the ref, and so the ref disqualified him, which brought the title back to Dory Funk Jr. And this was like, I think, in around St. Louis, because he worked a lot for Sam Munchnick. They stopped halfway through for tea. Oh. All right, here's the last one.
All right.
I
We
was
got one
born-
finally, Dave. We're 1 for 3. That ain't bad.
You will get this one, I think, with the clues. I was born on August 4th, 1996 in Islington, London, England. At the age of 20, I began my professional wrestling career as a ring announcer. I wrestled around Europe and the US before becoming a prominent feature in Stardom as part of Club Venus. I'm currently under contract with AEW. Do y'all know who it is?
David.
Do you have any idea?
Saraya?
No.
No.
Jamie Hayter?
No.
My guess is Tony Storm.
No. Here's the clue that's going to get it. I turned on my mentor and took her women's title at All In.
Mariah May.
Who am I? I am Mariah Mead, aka Mariah May. And so
The more you know.
That's right. And that's the reason why I knew, because they talked about Mariah's mother. They pointed her out in the crowd and said that she hadn't gotten to really see her wrestle much before. And this was like the second time or whatever. And
We
so
needed the more
was
you
her
know
mother.
ding right there after you just stumped us.
I'm going to tell you.
You're
she's only
welcome.
she's only 27. Wow.
That's what I said. She has not been wrestling very long. She just started off. I mean, she was the ring announcer at age 20, and then she started wrestling. She was only in Stardom for like 16 months or something, and then came over to AEW. I mean, she's very good. So that's it.
Well,
All right.
I feel British now.
A spot of tea.
Yes.
So I was really hoping we were going to keep this one around 90 minutes tonight. We're at 2:11.
We
Had a
did.
great time though, so it was all worth it.
Definitely, as always, fun.
I want to talk about our sister podcast, the TNA Top 10. This week, their top 10. They're doing top 10 emojis. They also cover. All In, like we just did. And I want to tell you, the top 10 emojis was pretty good. I mean, they do interesting top 10s normally anyway. And I look forward every week to seeing what we're going to get to vote for.
They had the one that I voted for last. It wasn't the emojis. I think it might have been the one before that.
And,
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
And they talk about
Rum raisin.
they do the first hour with, kind of like pop culture, professional wrestling, the top 10, whatever top 10 list they did. And then they're doing a second hour. They're doing a second hour separately about college football. And
it's getting ready to get going. Right?
Then Andrew does his little segment. Let me shit on the Von Erichs this week. And
so
that's always enjoyable for an audience of one. So anyway, but I love Andrew. I really do.
Point, though he does say if it's the
I think,
versus the Freebirds. That's.
I think the last one I voted on for top 10 was the top 10 game show host, and that was fun.
Oh yes, that was fun. Oh,
I was disappointed.
You're right. That was the last one. I think ice cream was before game show host.
I was disappointed this week that the middle finger emoji was not available for me to vote on because I use that one a lot.
I think Andrew would. I think Andrew probably does as well. I would imagine.
Oh yeah. So check them out over there. The new episodes they record live. They go live on Sunday nights now, and
and they are very. I mean, yes, we do hear a lot about Nebraska, but they are very informative about college football, the players, the coaches, what's going on, what they've been doing, what they're going to do. I really enjoy listening to that because I don't know a whole lot about it, And I feel like they put it in a way. I'm like, that sounds really good. That sounds like a good game to watch, or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's very good. It is very good.
Join Andrew in that extremely cheap penny pitcher, Terry Weaver.
He says, I don't, he doesn't use the middle finger. He spells it out. He don't want any confusion.
We're going to call him Frugal McGee.
Frugal McGee.
And then I'll over on Filter Free Popcast are covering 1988. They're also doing a deep cut of 8888, which was the uprising in Myanmar.
That is correct.
But on 8888, they ought to do a deep cut into my deviated septum.
Oh, okay. Dave always has a health issue for each year.
Because, as y'all know, I grew up in a grocery store. Mm-hmm. And on 8/8 of 88, we had a cashier, a little 16-year-old girl, running the cash register after school. And this guy came in and asked for a pack of cigarettes, and he gave her a pack of 100s. She gave him a pack of 100s instead of king size, and he didn't want those. So he threw the pack of cigarettes back at her.
You don't give a man from Texas a pack of 100s. You just don't do it.
And hit this kid right between the eyes.
That's terrible.
And when he did, I came over the counter, and the fight was on.
How old were you? I'm just kidding. How old were you? How old were you in 88?
In 88, I was 22 years old.
Oh, yeah. He was in fighting mode back then, Amy. He's ready to roll.
And I came over the counter, and this guy was much bigger than me. Much bigger than me.
I couldn't imagine that.
Like he's probably as tall as John Hickson. Because I was punching up.
You jumped up on the counter.
But here's the thing is that in the past, in our grocery store, if one jumps, we all jump. Mm-hmm. So, but the butchers ran up, and instead of it turning into a 4-on-1 situation where we stomped the compound dog shit out of this guy, they decided they were going to break it up. Mm-hmm. And while they were holding me, this guy had a bag that had Vienna sausages in it, and he swung the bag and he hit me. He hit me in the eye.
Not a bag of sausages.
I got hit in the eye with a can of.
You got hit with a bag of dicks.
Did you get hit where you got? I mean, where your surgery was? Is this before or after?
No, this is long before. This is long before I got shot.
Oh, that's right. You're 22. Okay.
Yeah, after I got shot, I quit fighting. I became a lover.
That's why he wasn't scared when he got shot. He'd already took a bag of sausages to the head.
But I got hit in the eye,
and they had your arm, so there was no protection.
They were holding me when the guy hit me, but let me tell you something. That big son of a bitch knew he'd been in a fight. But it pissed me off when he did that to that kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
what a jerk.
Well,
anyway,
I'm saying, oh my God, because I'm thinking, how many grocery items has Dave been hit with? He's been hit with tuna, and now he got hit with Vienna sausage.
I did not get hit.
Oh, you hit her with tuna, and now you got hit with Vienna sausage.
I got hit. This was, but ask me how I remember that it was 8/8 of 88.
It hurt. How do you know it was 8/8/88?
Because I had to write the date of the incident down multiple times on the workers' comp paperwork because I had a deviated septum and I had to have surgery on my sinuses.
Oh my gosh!
I've heard of so many injuries coming from canned food.
Did you have to call the cops or
when hobo food attacks? No, we didn't call the cops.
That was just street justice, right?
I mean,
I'll never forget that time I had a torn ACL from a bag of a can of baked beans.
I mean, I looked pretty bad, but I don't think I lost that fight.
Oh my gosh! No, because he hit you when you had your arms back.
Yeah, I mean, I gave that big son bitch all he wanted.
Well, he seems like a jerk. He's throwing cigarettes at a 16-year-old. Like, come on.
I know, but I mean, I could sit here and tell y'all stories.
Oh.
I can sit here and tell y'all stories for days about.
Which needs to be a show on the Ram Network of just Dave's grocery store stories. I've always said this is a show.
We've talked on this show about some of the crazy stuff I grew up with, but that was you know.
That's how all our grocery stores are in Bend.
Yeah, Ben Jones is right. Don't you ever go grocery shopping with Pondwater Dave, Ben, because you could come out of that thing paralyzed out of the grocery store.
Always be looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. Anyway, on a sad note, I'd like to take a second to point out that we lost Sid Vicious. His son reported that he lost his battle with cancer. He's gone way too young, and our hearts go out to his kids. My daughter called me yesterday, and she said, "Daddy, our worlds don't cross very often." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Frank the Tank's dad died."
Oh.
My daughter has a podcast, and and they'll cover reality television. And Frank the Tank was a player on Big Brother, and I think he's actually back for the Big Brother All Stars. So Sid Vicious's son Frank, Sid Udi's son Frank, was actually a reality TV star.
I did not know that.
And friends with your daughter.
Yeah,
you knew him, or she knew him.
The name of her podcast is Wicked Unscripted.
Yeah.
Sarah and Abigail do a great job on that, and they're doing good things. You can catch them with their podcast. You can catch them. They go live on TikTok a lot. Sarah does lives a lot because I guess there's camera feeds in the Big Brother house, and that's not my thing, so I can't really speak intelligently about it. But I do know that.
Back when I was in college, I used to watch Big Brother after dark. I used to pay for it. I haven't watched Big Brother in probably 10 years, but yeah.
I need everybody to go over there and just start commenting on her videos and say, "Hey, weren't you Nurse Ophelia Payne with the medics?" just pepper her with Ophelia Payne.
And be like, "Was it your dad the ref at Ric Flair's last match?"
Well, I mean, I know for me growing up,
is it your dad, Dr. Phil Payne?
Phil D. Payne.
Phil D. Payne.
I first was introduced to Sid Justice in 1991 in WWE, where I loved him in 1992 because he cost Hogan the Royal Rumble and Ric Flair won, which I loved because by then I hated Hulk Hogan and I was over it.
I was introduced to him in 1988. Yeah. Lance Peterson, the world-class historians in the chat. Did we get? Was it 1988 that we first saw Sid Vicious against Kerry Von Erich, Lance?
But then, for me, no one looked more like a wrestler than Sid Justice. If you could say, okay, cut this out of a rock, what looks like a professional wrestler, it would look like Sid Justice. And so just his presence, he could cut a promo. He could, if you watch his 1996 coming out against Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series, the fans loved him, and he was supposed to be a heel, and they loved it when he beat Shawn Michaels for the title in 1996. He had the most badass heel music in WWE at the time. I just loved. I liked Sid a lot. I was a Sid mark. I'm not gonna lie. So R.I.P. Sid. We're gonna miss you.
Yeah, Terry Reaver saw him as Lord Humongous, and he did definitely make an impression as Lord Humongous. He's really one of the first wrestlers that I ever saw made Kerry Von Erich look small.
Yeah.
I mean, because Kerry didn't go against we didn't have a lot of body guys come through.
Right.
And I mean, other than the Ultimate Warrior, Dingo Warrior. But him and Kerry were pretty equal at that time, body wise.
Right. And height wise, he's definitely taller.
But you can go find that match on YouTube, and I posted it on my Twitter at Ref Super Dave PWD. I tweeted it with a link to that match on YouTube, and it's a fun watch.
And probably would have been the world champion a lot more if it wasn't for that dang old softball season. But hey,
you love what you love.
I told my brother yesterday, you imagine that big son of a bitch hitting a softball.
God,
Jesus.
I would not be. I wouldn't want to be the one pitching it to him.
No, I would not either. So yeah,
Uh,
definitely we're gonna miss Sid, and I hated to hear that. I didn't know he was sick, and you know it was kind of a shock when I heard that. So we're gonna miss you.
And tomorrow night, August the 28th, over on the Ram Network, we're going to do our first world-class flashback watch along.
Awesome.
So join us. The links posted on our Patreon for Ram Network members. If you're not a member, go to patreon.com/Ram Network for $10 a month. We're putting out tons of bonus content, trying to entertain you, and join us tomorrow night for our first live watch along on Zoom.
Awesome.
All right. Have we said it all and said too much? I know we said too much, but have we said it
way
all?
too much. I'm trying to think.
Definitely said it all.
I mean, I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that you're not skinny enough to have AIDS to kind of get me off the hook for some of the shit I said.
Well, there, you know. Well,
On that note, no.
yes. For Pondwater Dave and for the First Lady of the Arn Anderson Fan Club, Miss Amy Vaughn, my name is Justin Davis, and we hope you are the rulers and the masters of the world. Take care of yourself and each other. So long, everyone.